Hello, YouTube beauties. Today is April 30th, 2023. I hope you guys had a good Sunday, even though it was in New York City, it was very rainy today. I think everybody was in the house today. It was like, stay your ass home type of day. I didn't really do much. I just had a taste for Lao mein and I went out to get some when it wasn't raining too hard. And I came right back home and, Tubi is on a roll. I mean, they have low budget films, and then they have a lot of movies they have is from Lifetime. So the movie that I saw just now, I was like, I gotta talk about this movie because it's very rare. It's something that we don't think about. It's called The Disappearing Act, and unfortunately, it's based on a true story. And I say unfortunately because I feel so bad for the mother. You know, it's like when you're I have a son, a 14-year-old, and he had a heartbreak from a girl. And in this situation, the girl is acting like a guy. She's pretty much a narcissist, and the relationship was so toxic, and the mother didn't know it was that bad. And I wanted to say, as a parent, even when your kids are grown, they still need you. They may not need you financially, but there's nothing wrong with stepping in, because not all people have sense enough to walk away. Not all people are blessed with, like for me, I've been blessed with good friends and stuff like that. And for the most part, I have sense, but sometimes adults need that mother's tongue, I would say, to say, you need to leave her alone. So he came to his senses, but by the time he did, it was too late. And what happened was, and what made me because at first it was like a little boring, but what got good is the girl was educated. She came from a rich family and stuff like this. So she was very violent towards him. So that's what made it so shocking, because she had everything to lose. Like, you're a violent person and this is who you are. Like, it was just so, you don't hear, like when you think of domestic violence, I know for me personally, you think of somebody that has nothing to lose. You think of somebody that's probably uneducated. You don't think that domestic violence, it exists in upper middle class to upper class people. You generally don't think that. You know, most people that's in domestic violence situations, they're lower middle class to lower class. Like most of the people, you know, although you do have, I'm pretty sure you have rich people who do put hands on their spouses, but it's not really, I don't think it's really reported, I guess, you know. So this movie was just a shocker to me because, first of all, it was a female putting hands on her man, and that's something you don't really hear. In my own family, I heard that it happened or whatever, but it's not something that's very common. So, and then these people are white, so that's what even makes it more shocking. You know, she was a successful woman, real estate agent, had it going on, educated, dressed nice, beautiful blonde girl. She was cheating on him with her, and she didn't want him. Like she literally treated this man like garbage. She would hit him for no reason. She was cheating on him with the ex-boyfriend. It got to a point where she was inviting the ex-boyfriend to events, and he confronted her like, why you keep inviting him to everything? That's inappropriate. We're together, we're engaged, and you keep inviting your ex-boyfriend. Like, what's the problem? You might as well be with him. And so he tells his friend, yo, I'm gonna break up with her because she's beautiful, you know, inside and out, personality, just every man's dream girl, but the temper of a serial killer. So he's like, I gotta get out of this. And then she's cheating on me with her ex-boyfriend. She don't even want me, you know. And it's so sad because in the beginning, right in 20 minutes into the movie, you could see she's not feeling him. So it's like, he tells her straight up, like, yo, I'm leaving you. I can't do this anymore. I don't have the energy for this. Or you always want to fight. Like, this was a rich white girl, educated, and she was ratchet. Like, she always want to fight. Like, she always want to throw a boat. He's like, yo, what's wrong with you? He's like, yo, I don't have the energy for this. You always want to fight. Like, who wants to come home and fight all the time? That's all she knew was fighting. He's like, yo, I can't do this. Like, you always want to fight. You messing with your ex-boyfriend. You're not, good for me physically, mentally. He's like, you don't treat me right. I'm out. Deuces. So she's like, oh, you messing with another girl? Like, that's narcissism, because you're cheating and sleeping with your ex-boyfriend, but you so focused on him and what he's doing. He was not cheating on her. He said, no, I am not cheating. You're cheating and you're crazy and I'm out. So she gets a knife and she stabs him in the back. He starts bleeding, and then she leaves. She panics and goes to her parents' house. Now, I wanted to talk about this with, obviously, they covered, for them to cover it up, that shows that they've been covering up stuff her whole life. She's basically what I call, they have the mama's boy. This is what I call the daddy's girl syndrome. Fellas, if you meet and when I say daddy's girl, I'm not talking about somebody who loves their father. But when it's like a little bit too much, you gotta separate yourself, because if she do some real craziness, he's gonna have her back. And that's not good. If my son does something crazy, I'm not defending the wrongness. That's not the type of parent I am. Just like with my son, when he lies, I confront him and I tell his teacher straight up, he lied. That's the type of parent I am. And you have a lot of parents out here that they cover up. And you know why that's not good? Because you covering up and then something happens to you, they're not going to cover up for you. And I'm here to say that when it comes to kids, I'm not saying don't love your children, but you have to see when it comes to crimes and stuff like that, you can't cover up for them. Not just because you might get in trouble too, but they're not going to do the same for you. In fact, they might put you under the bus. That's the type of world we live in. You cover up for somebody and you do for them and all that. They're not going to do the same thing for you. So you got to keep that in mind, even though it's your child. So the parents, instead of like telling her, yo, like, you on your own, sis, they like, the mother is like, you don't want her to go to jail. So what happens is she's like, oh my God. She brings them to the house. And so the father, he checks the pulse of the fiance, and he's like, oh, he's still alive. Now, any normal person will call the ambulance and say, whatever. It's like, if you go to jail, oh, well, what did you stab him for? Because he broke up with you? The fact that they, as parents, the fact that they went along with that shows how sick they are. Because I would be asked, if God forbid, whatever, I'd be like, well, what's wrong with you? Why would you stab her because she leaving you? You know what I'm saying? Like, if my son, God forbid, did some stuff like that. No, you're wrong. And you know what? I hope they put you in jail, because you need to learn your lesson. You don't act like that. You don't sweep things under. And as a parent, you don't sweep things under the rug. And because how are they going to learn their lesson? Right? How are they going to learn? Jail is not all bad. That's just the media or whatever. But a lot of people that I've met personally, they've been to jail, they came out, and they are good people. And they learned their lesson. So you covering, how is she going to learn? So basically, finally, her consciousness eats her up. And she confesses, And then the shocking thing about the movie is the mother of the son, she didn't peep game. The fact that she didn't even call the police. She was going on with her life like everything was fine. And the mother said that. She's like, you just going on with your life and you didn't even report his disappearance. Like, y'all was engaged. Like, and then she's like, oh, we broke up, this, that, and the third. Any mother would be like, oh, y'all broke up. But the mother still didn't see it. I guess she didn't want to believe it or whatever. And so she finally confesses. They get it on tape. And she tells the whole story of how her parents helped her. And they put the the brother and the father, they dumped the body in a river. They never found the body, but the girl who did the stabbing, she did 17 years. The father did 2 years probation and community service, and the mother did 1 year. That's really sad and ridiculous. And it wasn't until I got my degree, because I have a degree in criminal justice, that and just watching movies like that, our criminal justice system really, really stinks. Because there is no way in heaven or hell or earth that someone should confess to a crime, and all they do is 17 years, and the people that help them, they only get 2 years probation and community service. Probation and community service, to me, that's something like smoking weed or something like that. You got people that have been to jail for a long time for selling drugs. So it's like, and then on top of that, murder and rape is not taken serious enough in this country. Like, if somebody murders somebody and it was not self-defense, I don't understand how they only in jail for 17 years. Because she can come out and she could do it again. That happened in 1998. She's out now. She living her life. She can get with somebody, and when she snaps, she gonna kill them. You know what I'm saying? And then for the parents to only get probation and community service, are you kidding me? This is a human life. And it's like, even though it was a movie, I felt so bad. This is based on a true story. The mother was like, he was a good boy. He treated you like a queen. Do you not understand this boy was in love with you? He gave you the world. Like, why did you treat him so bad in a relationship and then you killed him? That just shows the hate that she had for him. She really hated him. And us as parents, we got to teach our boys now. That's what that movie taught me, to be careful with these girls, because these girls don't love you. These girls, some of them will the devil comes to steal, kill, and to destroy, right? A lot of the times, especially as a black mom, I got to worry about the guys that he's around, the crew with you got to worry about if they smoke and drinking. You never think you got to worry about your son getting with the wrong chick. That's not something that really crosses your mind. People who have daughters, I'm sure they worry about them getting with the wrong guy. How many times, domestic violence is very common, unfortunately. But you never think that your son could get with somebody that's beating him. You never think about that. And for this to be based on a true story, it's like, wow. You do have chicks like, she was a devil in disguise. Beautiful blonde, successful career, educated, bougie. She's what anybody would want as a daughter-in-law. Very upstanding citizen. And she was beating her son. There's a scene where he had marks on his body. And she's like, well, where are the bruises? The mother's like, well, why you got bruises on you? He's like, oh, I fell. That's something that most women would say. Oh, I fell. But as a mother right then and there, you like, nah, you ain't fall. And that's when you as a mother, you got to step in. Like, what happened? Tell me what happened. And then that's when you give your advice, like, yo, y'all fighting and stuff. Because she knew that their relationship she didn't know about the abuse, but she knew the relationship wasn't right. And don't be afraid, even though your kids may be grown, parents, those of y'all who have older children, don't be afraid to put your 2 cents in, because your 2 cents could save their life. And trust me, they'll think about what you say, and it's like, yeah, because by the time he came to his senses, it was too late. And sometimes they may not want to listen. They may say, hey mom, I'm grown, but you never stop being a parent, even when they are grown. And that movie really bothered me. I was like, I gotta do a video, because that just messed my head up. But the movie is called The Dissaperaing Act. It came out in 1998, and it's on Tubi. And it's a really good moral lesson to say everything that glitters ain't gold. And, that's something that usually us as women have to look out for. But I guess, fellas, they gotta be careful with that too. But yeah, and those are my thoughts.